recital Tuesday night or before last. And council did not take your recommendation. I know it was a 4-4 vote, but for those that did vote down that prayer, I want to thank you. Now, on the Fannin Farms, that place is inundated with already a lot of gas wells, a compressor station. TCEQ came out and they took an air sample at the compressor station a couple years ago, and it was a 30-minute canister snapshot, but they picked up 2.3 parts per billion benzene, and the long term is 1.41. We really hope that they were having a blowdown event at that time, which they do this regularly at compressor stations. I know I want to talk about the Fannin Bilge site, but I want to build my case as to why there's already too much in the air, and I'm going to talk about the compressor station. The maintenance occurs maybe monthly, and they let everything out of the pipes. And we hope that when TCEQ sampled and we got that 2.3 parts per billion, that was the anomaly, that was that once-a-month maintenance. It being an electric compressor station, if you lose power, they have the upsets and it goes into the atmosphere, or they bleed it down to the storage tanks where it invisibly emits. At every drill site, anytime you have lift compressors or anytime the storage tanks are doing their jobs, the V patches allow 24/7 venting. You can't see these emissions. But if you have where your lift compressors or a compressor station is trying not to vent into the air, they bleed it down and they direct it into the storage tanks where they invisibly emit there. So whether it's a compressor station or a drill site, you're going to have 24/7 emitting of the benzene toluene at the benzene xylene from these storage tanks. You can't see it. But if you watch the news last night, when Denton passed their ban, they were showing these infrastructure and a house in the background, and you can see the Waverly lights, you know, the air moving. That's the VOCs. Those are carcinogens in those VOCs. They don't need to be that close to people. So the heart of what we're talking about is a drilling zone, but we're really talking about shutting them down like Denton did. Now, when the Horse Farm drill site, not the Horse Farm, the Rock and Horse drill site next to the daycare was being decided on the first well they were going to permit for a consent agenda item, they just snuck in the drilling zone. They didn't think it was a big deal. That's how they treated the per drill site. Oh, it's a drilling zone. It's not that we're going to go ahead and permit and start drilling. They make too light of that drilling zone. This is where we can stop them like Denton had their ban. Now, we really just need to table everything and not hear anymore and see how this thing in Denton plays out. We have the opportunity to let what's going on in Denton legally wise play out. We can stop them at the drilling zone. If we don't allow a drilling zone, they don't get to ask for a permit, because you know once they permit that first well, wells 2 through 10 or however many they say they can fit on that site will be administratively approved and no one else gets to talk about it. Maybe well 2 went really badly. They never get to come back and talk to you guys about it or to council about it. Our ordinance has too many holes in it. When we flow back, we don't use the right infrastructure to flow back. We flow back into 18-inch hatch flowback tanks. These are open hatch flowback tanks. When the technology is there for low pressurized, ventless flowback tanks. But I called the TCEQ. I said, why are they letting these holes be in these tanks? Well, if we close them up, they'll blow up. Well, I did a little more research. There is technology where they won't blow up. You know, they wrote the rules to drill in rural areas, and they put them underneath our noses, and they said they were compliant to the state and local laws. Those laws were written for rural areas. Now, what's at stake here is our surface rights. And old rules said the subsurface rights trump our surface rights. That's ridiculous. That's what we need to change. And maybe we need to go to the state legislature every 2 years and keep banging on the door and say, don't have this rule. I mean, this is where we live. We should not have to breathe these invisible emissions. We know they're there. And had my own family not gotten impacted, after that drill site came in, my husband got cancer. My kid had blood work just 2 days ago. I took him shopping an hour ago, and he couldn't stop telling me how tired he was, I'm sick and tired of being close to these emissions, and I can't say that they poisoned my family, but the drillers will never be able to say that they didn't. They can't prove they didn't poison my family. Let's stop this at the drilling zone level. Let's table it. Let's see how Denton plays out. Let's change that surface the subsurface rule trumps surface laws, and let's be able to live in peace. Thank you.